everyone, and welcome to season 2 of Country with Celine. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of you guys who stuck around with me and waited it out to season 2. Thank you so much to all of my original listeners, all my OGs out there, and all of the new listeners we have picked up on the way. I'm so grateful for all of you, and I can't wait for you guys to see what's in store for season 2. And now let's get on with the show.
'Cause I don't know what I've been told. The weather outside is not that cold. And if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia.
Hello and welcome to Country with Celine, season 2. So excited to be here. I am your host, Celine Schmirky, and today to commence this brand new season, we have Roger Dale.
We should be one world, one love, one dream rising above. United, not divided, and delighted in the land of the free.
Roger, how are you doing today?
I'm doing really great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for being here. So first things first, you released your debut EP, Phases and Stages, this past month, which was July.
Duh.
Honestly, the summer just flew right by. By. So what was the ultimate goal with this album?
Well, the ultimate goal for the album, I've been working on it. It's been 2 years in the making. I've been writing for a little over 3 years. But 2 years ago, I set out with this mission in mind. I wanted to release an EP, a country album, a country soul album. And the title of the album really manifested in my brain before the song started evolving. I was one day journaling, and I said, when I finally write and put out my first EP, it's going to be Phases and Stages, because all the phases of life and love that I went through, and then the stages is these different highlights in my life. I'm like, I was on a big stage there, and I progressively went there, and I was brought back here. And so life itself, losing people along the different stages of life is kind of part of it too. So I set out to write a real honest and open album about emotion that we all sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Sorry. But yeah, and then I just progressively continued to write, and I met Justine. She's my producer. She's amazing. And she and I, just started bringing the concept together. It isn't a concept album, but it has that feel, in that all the songs, they are interwoven somehow. So there's a common thread, and the stages just ties everything together.
I really, really, really like that. That's why you chose Phases and Stages as like the title, because that's what the whole album is about. I really like the meaning behind that. And I feel like a lot of times song titles or song album names, they pop into your head way before like any of the lyrics are like even written, or any of the songs are even written. It's pretty crazy how that is. But when something sticks with you, it's like, there's something there to make that into something wonderful, something huge. And one song that I want to touch on is One World, One Love. Kate, what inspired that song? I feel like it's because of this crazy world that we've been living in these days, right?
Very accurate. And at the time of the Capitol riots, the insurgents, I was living in DC, and like 10, 15 minutes from the scene of things. And just waking up to that, and my mom was visiting me at the time. She looked more frightened than I was, and I've always worked for the government as an attorney, and even when I worked for plaintiff side, I represent plaintiffs against the government. I'm sorry. So it was just very shocking to see the government overthrown so easily, and I was just, in a sense, watching democracy just crumble on television. And I you study this and you understand history, and you're like, that could never happen. So for me, it was out of body experience. And the shock did not leave. It just resonated all night, and I couldn't go to sleep. And so I just pulled out my journal and started writing my thoughts. And my thoughts were like, I was laying in my bed, I could hear sirens, helicopters, people were still chanting. And it was like 1:32 o'clock. They wouldn't leave. And I knew then, I was just like looking around, we're broken as a people, as not only as a society, but in this country, there was this brokenness. And I reached out to Justine. I was like, we have to do something. We need to write a song. some way, somehow. We need to convey this moment because there needs to be some type of unification. We got to find a way to bridge this gap because this is, it felt like anarchy to
Yeah.
me, and it blew me. And from that, Justine and Corey and we had a writing session, and I just expressed all my feelings, and we were writing, and they were pulling out the guitars. And One World, One Love, the title truly, with the first 5 minutes, it presented itself. And then we just built around it because we knew that with everything that was going on in our country, seeing democracy crumble, we see that all the time in other countries. And so that's not acceptable, and it's not okay because we're oppressed in society. And so we wanted something that was going to resonate with Americans, but that was more profound. And so that's how we incorporate the world. Because if we're going through it, somebody else is going through it.
Yeah. The song title in itself speaks for itself too. Like you were just saying, one world, one love. We all need to unify at this point because like we're so divided, especially when the whole election was going on because you had Biden supporters and you had Trump supporters. And even now with this vaccine, you have people who don't want to take the vaccine and you have people who want to take the vaccine, and the people who don't want to take it are kind of getting shunned by all the people who want to take it, but because they both have two completely different views. But I mean, I feel like in this world, I feel like you can agree with me, there's only one view that you're supposed to have, and it's one view, and that's it. You can't go against the norm. You can't have a different opinion on anything, or else you're wrong. Like whether it's you're on one side or the other side, you're only allowed to have one, and the other person's wrong or the other person's wrong. And it's pretty crazy how the world is getting to nowadays. Honestly, we really need just one world, one love. I saw this post and it was like, I think it was Richard Branson. He posted this because you know how they want to have passengers go into space now. They want to normal citizens. I mean, that'd be really, 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 really cool. And he posted this and he was saying that I feel like if all of us were to actually go and experience space and just look down and see this like earth that we live on, it would unify us all and make us all remember that we are all human. Like all live and breathe the same air. We're all side by side. We should all just unify and like be one.
Yeah, and the biggest thing that for me is to step aside of our differences, right? So with my type of work, I'm a civil rights attorney, and I've been doing this for 8 years, and I wanted to do this before I went to law school. And so when I went to law school, I just really immersed myself in it. So my song speaks, different creeds, different nationalities, different religions, different races, sexualities, sexual orientation. All of it is interwoven in this song saying that because of our differences, that means nothing. Step aside, find a way to get back to the middle. Like, how do we get back to where we were? And if you say we've never been there before, well, then how do we get there? Because for some of us, we've had a harmonious life, right? And up until that moment, for me as an attorney to raise my right hand and say, I will uphold the Constitution, on that day, I was watching it crumble. And that was the most profound thing that I've ever experienced in my life personally. And I've never felt that isolated, frightened. I was frightened for my mom, my grandma, my brothers, more than anything, my family. And just to see this happening. So I want everyone, and it's so easy with politics to become divisive, that we want to shun each other's opinions because, like you said, you only can have one opinion. That's not healthy, because when I was in law school and even now as an attorney, some of my colleagues are different. They have different opinions than myself. But it's okay for us to hash it out and discuss why we may see things differently and to shine a little light on both sides, but not, bring this animosity or hatred to the table. It's okay to be different, and it's okay to not agree. That's the thing my mom would always say. It's totally okay if you don't agree, but you respect each other's opinions and you carry on as a decent human. And I feel like that is the level, that is the one ingredient we've lost, is that decency for each other. There's no reason to get into an argument when you tell me your opinion, I tell you mine if we don't agree.
Yeah, exactly. I know. No, I completely agree with you, Roger, on that. But hold up. So law and country music, how did How did that happen? What it was country music always a goal of yours when you were
Right.
here? Oh,
Yes, I was gonna say it's like did the chicken come for the egg type thing. So country music was way before law school. I didn't grow up wanting to be an attorney. In fact, I wanted to be a sports broadcaster. You know, I wanted to be like, he's going in for the last 2 points. He's got,
yeah.
and
Oh my
I
God.
got waitlisted. So
That's
th-
okay. That's funny. That's what I went to school for, sports broadcasting.
isn't it amazing? I really, really want to do that.
Yeah, my goal is hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey?
Oh yeah.
Because
That's action packed.
yeah, right? Oh my God, every game is a good game, let's be real. There's always something that happens when you watch a
Yeah,
game of
always.
hockey. So that's why. So that's interesting. So were you surrounded by like country music growing up? Did you like your parents play anything or
No, both my parents were not musically inclined, but my mom, we grew up in a holiness church. And so growing up, I had to go to church a lot, and my mom was the youth choir director. And so when I was growing up, I would watch her direct. And then when I was around 8 years old, I was like, Mom, I want to sing. And she's like, okay, get up and sing. And she saw something, and she would just practice with me every week. And I would sing at church pretty much every Sunday. And then when I was like 14, 15, I started doing talent shows, county fair things. And just from there, I continued to do it. And then when I was an undergrad, kind of put it on the back burner, focus on my academics. And then when I went to law school, even further on the back burner. About 3 years ago, you know, I've been doing law, and it fulfills me. I love helping people, but there was something missing, and I needed to have something that would show the creative side of me. And I got a vocal coach and started writing with her, and started playing guitar a little bit, and started writing songs too. And here we are.
well whatever
And
it will be, it will be, right?
yeah. And even now I'm a full-time attorney. I work in the evenings to make sure I can do my music, you know, my social media. I've been working all along, working a third job to be able to finance recording my album. So that's why it's taken so long, but I've enjoyed the whole process, I swear.
Yeah, that's a real process for sure.
Yeah.
And the next place that you want to play at, is it going to be Whiskey Jam? Because I see you representing the hat.
Yeah, I want to play at Whiskey Jam so bad.
Yeah, I know. I think every single artist wants to play there. I've gotten to
It
interview
is
quite a bit of people.
spot.
Yeah, it looks like it's so much fun. I'm up in here in Canada, and it's like I just want to come to Nashville just to go to Whiskey Jam. Like it looks
It's amazing.
amazing. And then even the CMA Summerfest, like I was like, oh damn, that looked so much fun. And the way that like the theater, like where they performed, the artists performed, I was like, holy, it's gorgeous. You can see everything. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. I went, so I had my first experience 2 weeks ago at Whiskey Jam, and it truly felt like it was a performance hall, but it felt like a big concert.
Yeah, yeah.
Standing room only, and it was, yeah, sensational.
I
So yeah,
could
I played there with my band, yeah.
I could imagine that would be a lot of fun. Now, how do you live in Nashville or do you live somewhere else? Oh, you live in Nashville now?
Yeah, so I'm right now I live part-time in Washington, D.C. and part-time in Nashville. So I'm going in between, but I'm down there in Nashville more now because my album's out, and I'm trying to gig with my band and build up the momentum, because I really want to go on tour and open for somebody next year. Somebody who comes, Chris Stapleton, one of those guys, one of my soul guys.
Oh my gosh. If when, I shouldn't say if, when that happens, let me know. I'm coming. Okay. Those are my
For
guys too.
sure,
Luke Combs
for
is my
sure.
number one. Like I love.
He's my favorite. Yeah, he's from North Carolina too, so we're fellow North Carolinians. So
What song is your favorite Luke Combs song?
all over again.
Yeah, it's a good one. That's a good
That's
one.
real.
Mine has to be Must Have Never Met You. I blast
Oh,
that song, like,
that is great. That's a great one.
right? It's so good. He's awesome. And like I swear he never puts out a song that is not good. They are all
Never.
bangers, straight bangers, all good.
Yep.
And then like 6 feet apart when he put that out just like that. Like it was good. Like crazy.
That was my, you know what, and last year because of COVID, I had some gigs and then they went kaput because obviously we couldn't go perform live. And my vocal coach, she was like, start doing virtual shows. And I would do like Wind Down Wednesday with Roger, Saturday singing sessions with Roger. And that was my go-to song, 6 Feet Apart. I performed that song probably more than 100 times last year during COVID.
It's an amazing song, and we could all
Yeah.
relate to that song. Like, it was
Still, yeah. Even
yeah.
now.
And when Luke Combs, when he finally started to perform and he put that line, oh, how did it go again? Now I'm blanking. Like, one day we'll all be like together again, like at a concert. Oh my God, how do I not remember this line?
Yeah.
You know the
And I
line
wanted,
that I'm thinking of?
yeah. When we're, yeah, I know exactly. He's like, I'm going to take my friends out for a round. Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah. I miss my band someday.
I miss.
I know exactly what you're
Blanking
talking
on
about.
this, Rod.
There'll be crowds and there'll be shows.
That's
There
it.
will be light after dark. Someday, yeah, there you go.
Yep, exactly. I was just going to find it because I'm like, how am I forgetting? Exactly. There'll be crowds and there'll be shows. Yeah, and that's what we're having now. Thank God. It's about time, right? Especially for
Right.
musicians.
Yeah, because we, a lot of money was lost, and because that's the livelihood for musicians is the performance, selling merch and getting their music out, and so people are streaming everything kaput so fast, and there was nowhere to perform except virtually, and a lot of people had never engaged in virtual performances.
Yeah. Well, something
So it was a whole learning experience.
exactly. It was just a big learning experience, and TikTok was a major help with all of that. I mean, it kept us sane as well.
Yeah, it did. It really did. You get bored, you like TikTok it.
Yeah, exactly. And then you're up late at night to like 3 a.m, just scrolling. Like, oh, the next one I'll go to bed. The next one I'll go to bed. The next, and it's like
It never stops.
never ends. Okay, now Roger, before I let you go, we're gonna play a game. I like to call Country with Celine Rapid Fire. So I'm gonna
Okay.
shoot out a couple questions. Okay. So the first one is, what is your dream? Oh, who is your dream collaboration?
Carrie Underwood.
Oh, she's gorgeous and she's insane.
Uber.
Yeah. Your dream travel destination?
Australia.
Gorgeous. Binge watch. Netflix binge watch. What is it?
Currently, or was my recent one?
What's your most recent one? Let's do that.
Nurse Ratched.
I don't think I've heard of that.
Sarah Paulson's in it. It's freaking amazing.
Is it good?
Wow, it's wild. You'll watch it. You'll like it.
Have you watched Outer Banks?
No, but my cousin yesterday told me I should. So thank you. That's a reminder.
There you go. There you go. Complete reminder here. It's so good. You're gonna love it. Trust me.
Okay.
And the last one here I have is, if you were to talk to a younger version of yourself, what advice would you give him?
To never stop believing and keep pushing for your dreams.
When you said that, don't stop believing, just popped in my head like so fast.
Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling.
Well, thanks so much, Roger, for joining
Thank
me.
you.
It was so fun chatting with you, and hopefully I'll get to see you in person one day down in Nashville.
Absolutely. I can't wait. Thank you so much for having me.
Because boys like me ain't run of the mill. We can show you more than just a damn cheap thrill. Take you uptown where city lights go, or stay on the couch and hold you close. Cruising